do. So we appreciate those of you who have joined us today. Hopefully some of the information you'll get today will be insightful. I want to obviously thank Lou and Andrew and Tyler and Shawn for making time to do this with us today. Shawn, we'll welcome you to your first Zoom meeting. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, thank you.
Welcome to your first Zoom meeting. But I did want to kick things off, and I know the focus of our conversation today, and for those of you who don't know me, I am the Executive Director, Wayne Miller, of the Venture Center, and I'll hand things off to Ashley Jones, who is our Managing Director of Community Programming, who is responsible for these programs and just does such a great job, and has just gotten a little boost in who she is. So we congratulate Ashley on a promotion here, et cetera. So she's done just a great job serving our community and is very passionate about that, which drives the Venture Center. But I wanted to, before handing things off to Ashley, just make a quick statement about, I've asked Lou to join us today because he has had some firsthand experience with some of the challenges of owning a small business and trying to get some capital from the PPP and the EIDL programs respectively. So I asked Lou to come on and just give us about 5 or 10 minutes on that. And then we'll jump into the real topic today, which is really about people who are out there hiring and there are jobs available. And we'll get a chance to hear from Sam and obviously from Tyler and Shawn and Andrew. So Ashley, I'm going to hand it off to you, and I guess we'll take it to Lou. So thank you all for being with us today.
Certainly. And I do want to point out this is being recorded and we have gone live on Facebook. So those that weren't able to register or just want to watch us on Facebook, they have that option. I just wanted to go over some quick rules, how this is going to work. As Wayne mentioned, we have 5 panelists today, so a lot of information to cover, a lot of great information to cover. So like you said, we're going to start with Lou. Hold your questions until after Lou's done, and then we'll open it up for questions for Lou. He'll be talking about how his business has fared through this pandemic, his experience with applying for loans, grants, that sort of thing. After questions for Lou have ceased, we will move on to Andrew with Robert Half Staffing Agency, who will talk about Robert Half and how they're helping people find jobs. Move on to Tyler with First Orion to give an overview of First Orion as well as the positions they have. Same for Shawn Glenn with DXE Technology, and then rounding it off with Sam Carrosquillo with Bond.AI. So Lou, we're going to start with you. If you'll tell us how your business is doing and speak to the loan processes and all that good stuff.
Yeah, well, thanks, Ashley, and thanks, Wayne. It's great to see everybody. Our business is actually going pretty well. So as long as everybody's using the internet like mad, right? So as long as everybody can pay their bills, we're very fortunate in that respect. But like everybody else, and especially those of us who are really small businesses, we wanted to take advantage of the programs that we know are out there and that a lot of people have been trying to help with and stuff like that. I think everybody's probably pretty aware that 2 weeks ago today was the first day that you could officially apply for PPP money. We were told really early on that those were going to be sequential loans, so it was very important to get your application in very quickly, very soon, because a week before that we already knew that they were going to run out of money. I don't know how many of you tried to do that process or not, but we got all of our stuff together on Friday to submit on Friday, and then started having discussions about banks. And the reality is that, and by the way, what I'm just saying is personal experience. Is not really a criticism of anybody, because a lot of people are trying to help. And one of the things that we discovered is that even though a lot of banks, or all the banks in Arkansas, are SBA qualified, there were certain banks that absolutely were not going to participate in this program. We went to one small bank that we know very well, and they just said, "Nah, we're not interested. In fact, we've been told if we will refer our business to somebody else, they'll process the referrals we give." So we checked that bank off. Then we went to kind of one of our medium-sized banks that we do business with, and they said yes, they would process it, but what they really meant was no, they didn't want to. So they didn't just say, "No, get out of here." They said, "If you just have to have this, we'll do it, but couldn't you really find somebody else?" So then we went to our third bank, which is a really big bank. And about 9 o'clock on Friday night, I was talking to my banker, and he said, "Absolutely, we'd love to do it. We will do it. By the way, here's the stuff you need." and he sent the stuff over that was required. Almost everything that I had done all day Friday to get prepared was wrong and had to be all redone. So by about noon Saturday, I got that stuff redone, submitted it, and he started working on it. So I know we got our applications in on the PVP fairly quickly. I was talking to a small business in Oakland, California yesterday. They've already been notified that they're not getting any money, that they filled out their application, but they got it in too late and money has run out. So I don't know where we stand on that, but just, you know, there are some banks that will do this and can do this and are really fast and good at it. Other banks are just wasting their time. They don't really want to do it, even though they're qualified. It's apparently a pretty hard process. On EIDL loans, EIDL loans, I don't know how y'all thought about this, but I thought we had heard that apply for those things takes 10 minutes to apply. Really nice application process. But apply for those, apply quickly, and within 3 days, you're going to find out about this, and you're going to get $10,000, and it's going to really help your business. I applied 2.5 weeks ago. 2 days ago, I got an email from the SBA, I guess, and EIDL's not really $10,000 each. It's really $1,000 per employee if you qualify and if you get the money. I hope nobody's relying on this stuff, because if you are, you may be disappointed. I hope everybody is trying to figure out other ways to manage through the situation, and manage through the process, and hoard their cash and run their businesses. And if you get any of this stuff, I think it's going to be a boon, an extra. But I hope you're not counting on it, because I'm not really sure how much of this we're going to see, really and truly. When you take one of our businesses, like my business, less than 10 employees, some of your businesses are really small. And when we're trying to get money out there to save jobs, and there are people that are classified as small businesses and they have 5 employees, you think about, that's one loan process. They say 500 jobs. That's kind of a more efficient process than processing 100 loans for a company my size, and and still having some people probably going to go away job-wise. So it's a practical matter. If you have a really small business, this may be a very difficult thing to do in getting this money. So I would say hunker down and try to manage your business to get through this without counting on that stuff.
That's some good insight, Lou. Thanks for sharing that. And for those, I see a couple of new people tuning in. For those that don't know what Broadband Development Group is, can you give an overview of what your company is and what you do?
Yeah, we're basically a broadband internet service provider, mostly in downtown Little Rock, but in Argenta and West Little Rock, Dallas, and south of Austin, Texas. Mostly a fixed wireless broadband provider, but a little bit more than that, but that's essentially it.
Perfect. And I know when we told you we wanted you to come on, we wanted your insight into how your business is doing and some experience with the loans. And so again, thank you for providing that insight for us. Does anybody have any questions for Lou? Lou, is Broadband Development hiring right now?
No. Unfortunately.
That's okay.
We're hanging on though. We're hanging on.
That's fantastic news. I bet there'll be a question that comes up later. We will have time at the end. If a question does come up, feel free to share that towards the end. Again, thank you so much, Lou. We're going to go ahead and bring on Andrew, who is a recruiting manager for Robert Half Staffing Agency. He's here to explain how they're assisting those looking for work and any job openings he can share. So Andrew, thanks for being a part of this. I'll let you take it away.
All right, thank you. Yeah, first of all, I just want to thank you guys for putting this together today. Let me be part of this webinar. And also, I want to apologize for my hair right now. I'm about to have to take matters into my own hands. I know it's looking a little crazy. But anyway, my name is Andrew Scherz, and I am a recruiting manager with Robert Half. I'm not sure if all you are familiar with Robert Half, but we are a Fortune 500 staffing firm. We have over 330 locations around the world, but I am local here in Little Rock. And here in Little Rock, we have 4 different lines of business. One of those being our permanent placement division, and that is where I'm from. Everything that my team does is going to be on a direct hire basis. And we specialize in accounting and finance, and positions like that will range from bookkeepers and lower end staff accountant positions all the way up to executive level positions like CFO. But we'll also work some jobs outside of that, such as human resources, payroll, executive assistants, and kind of just anything kind of relating to those. For our other 3 lines of business that we do have here in town, they're all going to be temporary solutions, and those will include account temps. That's probably the one that most people are familiar with. They also specialize in accounting and finance, HR, payroll, anything of the sort relating to those. Our office team division, they specialize in all administrative, clerical, and customer service positions. And then we have a new line of business called our salaried professional services. And those consist of highly skilled Robert Half employees. So those are people that we brought on to Robert Half, and they are on Robert Half's payroll, and they consult in their specific areas of accounting, finance, expertise, HR, whatever their expertise is, they'll consult in those. And basically what those are good for, if somebody's out on maternity leave, if any company needs help with like a big project, anything like that, then the salary professional will be able to come in, step in, and help you guys, fill the gap wherever it is needed. So that's kind of what we have going on here in Little Rock. As you can imagine, things are a bit different right now with everything going on surrounding COVID-19. Companies are going through layoffs, furloughs, you name it, which is why, we think it's very important to come together and support one another as best as we can right now. As for companies that are hiring, what we've seen at least, some of these industries seem to be least affected. Aerospace, defense, agriculture, liquor distributors, banking, telecom, drug manufacturers and pharmaceutical companies, electric utility companies, insurance, poultry, transportation, logistics and trucking, healthcare, and then other miscellaneous manufacturing companies. Food production and food manufacturing is a big one right there. But the reason there's a much longer list than that, but the reason I listed those is because we are actively working jobs for companies right now that are within these industries. So there are jobs out there, and many companies are hiring. And what I like to say to these companies that are doing, okay, and are looking to possibly make a hire in the future is right now, a lot of companies are on a hiring freeze around town. And so that can be a big advantage to some people because they're able to land some of the best talent in the market while these other companies are on hold. Essentially, they have better candidate options with less competition. And, whether you're an employee looking for work or an employer looking to land the best available talent in the market for your organization, Robert Half is the best resource in the staffing industry and that the staffing industry has to offer. Especially now more than ever, my team and I are dedicated to provide our clients and candidates with the best support and service possible. We're willing to venture out of our normal wheelhouse and help those in need and be of assistance to anybody, any way that we can.
Thanks, Andrew. We do have a couple of questions that have come in. Any positions that are not professional openings?
Not professional openings. What do you mean by that?
I mean hourly type positions?
Maybe that's what they meant.
What type of positions?
Maybe it's the difference between exempt and non-exempt.
Non-exempt positions would be if you're an hourly employee and you work over 40 hours a week, then you are eligible for overtime. An exempt employee would not be eligible for overtime working over 40 hours a week.
Would they go through you to apply? What's the best way to go about this?
Yeah, so you can go to our website, roberthalf.com, and we'll have, it's very user-friendly, and you can kind of see, I think it says job seekers on our website. You can just click on that and type in your zip code, and you'll see just a long list of all the jobs that we are working right now. And that's updated every day with new jobs that we get that come in. You can filter it on whether you want part-time, full-time, filter it any way that you want, and you can just apply directly through our website. We'll see it come through on our end.
Okay, got another question. Did you say more temporary jobs, job openings than permanent full-time?
It kind of depends. Right now, what we're seeing is companies are more likely inclined to use temporary services, just kind of with the way that the market is trending right now. Once this thing does cool down and we're on the other side of this thing, then we will see an influx of permanent positions as well. But we do have multiple permanent positions that we're working on right now.
I did get clarification for that first question, and by non-professional, they meant some non-skilled positions.
Yeah, I mean, so right now, like I said, I mean, we're trying to help out, in any way that we can, and that's we're going outside of our wheelhouse, and we're willing to help out anybody that needs help. Our office team would probably be the best place to start with that. Like I said, they typically deal with administrative and customer support and clerical positions and things of that nature. So, they're willing to help out whoever they can. So feel free to give us a call for sure.
All right, another question. Will I be charged for using your services, or does the company hiring?
So if you're a candidate, our services are completely free.
Good to know. This is great information. Thank you so much, Andrew. Again, we'll have some more time towards the end. If anyone has another question, feel free to pose that. But moving right along, we will welcome Tyler with First Orion. Tyler, if you would just give us an overview of First Orion, and then any positions that you've got open and are hiring for.
Sure. Thanks for having me. So I am the Director of Talent Management for First Orion. I've got a small and mighty team. I see Shelby that is on here, so she may type. She already put our careers page link on the chat. So if you guys want to check those out there. But First Orion, we're located and headquartered in North Little Rock, Arkansas, right there in Argenta. We actually just made the move in the few weeks before COVID really hit. So if you were early on the call, we were just discussing about how we just barely got in there. But we really, our mission here is to provide transparency and communication. And that's really to enable everyone, consumers, across the globe, to trust their phones again. So if you have gotten a pesky scam call, we are the people behind that, really battling those scam calls and trying to protect consumers. So a little overview of what we do. We partner with global mobile carriers to provide in-network solutions for them to block those scam calls or identify them. And then we also have a call enhancement suite in which we're able to kind of brand the way in which the calls are made, so you know who's calling and why. It's a really neat technology. We've got a lot of really great people on board they're fighting this battle every day. It's really something to get passionate about, because we're serving over 85 million members of mobile carriers, and we all know someone that's been affected by a scam call. In today's climate with COVID, there's a huge spike in scam calls. With the stimulus check and everything that's going on, IRS reaching out, all fake, all scam. And so we're really fighting that battle every single day, hoping to really make an impact there. We stand with a little over 200 employees. So we are still a pretty small business, but growing pretty quickly. Last year alone, First Orion had 85 employees added to the team. So our growth has definitely happened in the last few years, while we've been in business, I guess 12 now, but really growing heavily lately. While I mentioned we're headquartered in Argenta, we do have locations in Bellevue, Washington, Dubai, and the UK, and then also have a couple of remote employees that are home-based. But at First Orion, I mean, you're really going to find a transparent work culture, full access to leadership, very extreme open door policies that you'll see and experience. And it's just a really collaborative, fun environment. Some of the perks that you'll find are going to be really great benefits, 401k, stock options, but then also things that really push for a great community with our employees. So you're going to see Beer 30, which some of y'all may have heard around the town about First Orion. And that's really just a way to, come together and collaborate and have fun and really, celebrate a strong work week and hang out with your coworkers. So Beer 30 is great at First Orion. We have free snacks and drinks and catered in lunch twice a week. So we're excited to get back into the office so we can experience all that and celebrate all of that with our employees. We are hiring right now. We're always hiring. As of today, they're really mainly focused on a lot of technical positions. So if you follow that link that Shelby's been dropping, we've got some senior network engineer roles, network security engineers, software developers. So really senior software engineers looking for a back-end software engineer with Java, and another one with C++ experience, an information security officer, and a few others that are on there, but those change daily. So we have a hiring roadmap. We are being conservative just with today's climate, but we are one of the lucky ones that as of today, our business has not been impacted. So it's important for us to be able to continue to serve our customers and clients. And to do that, we've got to keep growing, and we've got a big demand for our business. So we're continuing to add new postings probably every week. So I would say stay tuned if you don't see something that fits right for you, or connect with myself, Shelby, or Kathy Lloyd, who's also on my team. And we can kind of match you up and keep you in the loop on openings that do come open later down the road.
Thank you so much. This is all so good information. Like you said, you are one of the lucky ones being able to hire and sustain through this time. There's others that aren't so lucky. So kudos to First Orion for keeping the ship afloat. We do have a question. Do you have to live in Little Rock for your job openings?
I believe there's one that's posted right now that's a mobile engineer, actually out of Bellevue. It depends on the role. So I do know the ones that are focused and posted now are focused for our Little Rock office. They're needed here in Little Rock and on site, but we do have employees that bring a skill set that we need that live in other states. So it's definitely a possibility.
And then the subject of internships keep coming up. A lot of internships have been canceled or postponed. How is First Orion handling that? Taking on any interns?
So I've seen that there's been a lot of internships that have been postponed, and that is so disappointing to hear. I know that there's a lot of students that are facing that. We love our college career recruiting. We go to like every school in the state. A couple of those towards the end got canceled because of COVID, but we are having interns this summer. I think it may have been pulled down, but we have a cybersecurity one that we're looking to bring on. And there's a potential that we may add some more in the next few weeks. So I would say stay tuned. We've signed several interns already. We will have internships this summer. There may be more that get added. It just depends kind of really when the office opens up. It's important for us, for our interns to really have that face-to-face experience. And there's so much, whether it comes to our culture of our company or what they're gonna learn and really be able to take away from it, that does deserve a face-to-face experience and an in-office experience, which we're hopeful that we'll be back in the upcoming weeks.
Absolutely. And we do have a question. You went over this and you mentioned a lot of the positions you're hiring for were technical. Can you speak to a couple of those that you mentioned earlier? We have a few new folks joining in, and also where they can go to find those openings.
Sure. So I think if you look in the chat, I think Shelby dropped the link. If it's not there, you can look on our website, scroll to the bottom, there's a careers button where it will direct you straight to the openings, and you can follow those job descriptions. They are more technical today. However, you know, that could change for our business needs next week, and we may be able to add some new ones. Today, we've got a senior network engineer, network security engineer, information security officer. Trying to think what else. Oh, senior software engineers that are on there as well. So,
Good
but
deal.
if there's something that you don't see and you believe that you're, you know, someone that needs to be at First Orion, and you really feel passionate about the company and see how the mission makes sense for you and how you can bring something special to the table, I absolutely encourage you to reach out to us.
Great. Thank you so much, Tyler. That's fantastic information. As she said, be sure to check that Zoom chat box, and all the information is there at firstorion.com/job posting. So thank you so much. Up next, we've got Shawn Glenn, who is the manager of application delivery at DXE Technology. Shawn, welcome. And again, if you would give us an overview of DXE Technology and what positions are open and available.
Sure, and thank you for inviting me to attend. So I am a manager at DXE Technology. DXE, to give you a little bit of a history, was formerly HP, and then through a series of spin-offs and spin-off mergers, we became HP Enterprise, and then we spun off and merged with Computer Sciences Corporation to form DXE. There's soon to be another spin-off of the industry that I support. We were the Health and Life Sciences group and our automotive group and one other of our industry sectors were sold to a private equity firm. So that sale is supposed to complete in the June-July timeframe. And the private equity firm, I never can remember the name of it, and I even wrote it on my sticky, but I can't find it on my sticky right now. But anyway, we will soon have another company name. So like I said, DXE we are a global technology company. We support a wide variety of industry verticals, but the one that I work within is health and life sciences, and the Conway facility supports primarily health and life sciences. Probably 90% of our staff support health and life sciences, and then another 10% support the automotive industry. What we do primarily for health and life sciences is we have contracts with about 44 of the U.S. states to do the Medicaid claims adjudication for them. So it's the software and systems behind Medicaid claims processing and payment. A little interesting piece of information is this was Ross Perot's company. He landed a deal with the state of Texas and to do their Medicaid claims adjudication process, did a good job, and as states do, you do a good job for one state, pretty soon other states want the same. So HP bought Ross Perot's company, which was Electronic Data Systems, in 2008, and then through the spinoffs and mergers, we're now part of DXE. So the Health and Life Sciences Applications Group, our job roles primarily are, we have business analysts, we have developers, we have project managers and technical writers, and we have each of those job roles here in Conway. We have about between health and life sciences applications and then the call centers that take inbound calls from Medicaid providers and recipients about why hasn't my claim paid or why haven't I received my payment for the claim. They're called the BPS group, but we're health and life sciences applications. We have an immediate need for 50 business analysts that primarily work, they're going to do the configuration behind the claims adjudication system. In the most basic sense, a claims processing system consists of the member, the provider, the claim, and the payment. But behind that, there's a lot of business rules, as you can imagine. And we're looking for business analysts we're looking for folks who have worked for a healthcare provider or a hospital in the billing office, that are doing the billing, and they're familiar with, diagnosis codes, procedure codes, and the whole way that claims are billed and paid, because they have a lot of familiarity with what we do, and they tend to catch on really quickly to the function that we would need them to perform as a business analyst. So we're hoping to fill these positions by late May to mid-June. And these resources will be assigned to, our 44 existing accounts, or they may be assigned to new states that we have 3 or 4 states that we've recently won contracts with, and we'll be needing to staff up those teams. They'll be working from the Conway, Arkansas facility after we get past the COVID-19 pandemic. Until then, we will, we're all working remotely from our homes, and we are looking to hire. Andrew, I'm not sure that Robert have yet as one of our agency partners, but we do have, a set of agency partners that we do work with, and that's all managed by a company called Allegis. So, maybe you could help us out in staffing these positions. For now, we're working with the chamber. Our talent acquisitions group and myself, we've blasted on social networking. We've set up a requisition for applicants to apply to. We've got it on LinkedIn. We've got it on Facebook. And I have engaged some of our agency partners to help us fill these positions. We've already had about 20 applicants. We've already begun interviewing. In fact, I completed an interview right before this call today, and so we're getting really qualified candidates already. So I'm really optimistic about being able to fill these. These are not entry-level positions. They're primarily going to be intermediate level positions. So that would be, either 1 year of experience with a medical coding certificate, or 2 to 5 years of experience in a billing type environment without that certificate. So do you guys have any questions for me?
You actually just answered one. One of the questions was, do you require a 4 or 2 year degree? So
if they have practical experience, I'm not sure their degree would always be required. It depends on the year's experience in doing this.
And then another question just came through. What kind of training do you provide for your openings?
We have a lot of different training venues. When folks come in, of course, there's a series of training that everyone that works in health and life sciences are required to take, HIPAA being one of them, corporate, ethics type training. And so we have that initially. Then we have a healthcare university, which is a series of about 35 lectures that have been pre-recorded that talk about the healthcare industry and our healthcare platform end to end. And then we've had business analysts that have sat through that and created cliff notes, so you have something to go back and reference too. And then we typically, for this particular group of BAs, we will probably have a virtual training that helps them learn our platform, how to go into the platform, how to get to different areas, the member area or the claims area, or and make the changes to the system that are needed. And then we always pair our new employees up with a mentor that kind of walks hand in hand with them for as long as they need. to bring them up to speed.
Perfect. And then how many positions are being hired for?
50 by mid-June. So we've got a big challenge ahead of us. I think we filled 5 of them. So far, we've got 5 candidates identified.
Great.
Mm-hmm.
Another question just came in. Are they accepting their business analyst positions to individuals who have data science experience?
It would be, where the data science experience, was, I guess. If it was around medical claims and medical coding, that would be one thing, but we really are looking for that niche skill set for these positions. The medical billing, diagnosis codes, procedure codes, that knowledge.
Okay, and just a shameless plug for you. Where can they go to learn more about these positions and to find out more about DXE Technology?
I can probably, I can find the link here, but the Conway Chamber has been blasting the link, and been blasting it on social media, and there's also a link within that social media post that has the requisition to which they can apply to, and that has the job description in it and some more information. So if somebody from the chamber is on, maybe they could put that in the chat.
Yes, it looks like we've got a couple of people. They've gone ahead and put the website and then a link to the jobs there in the description.
Perfect.
Yay.
Thank you.
Well, thank you so much, Shawn. Again, we'll save some room towards the end if any other questions come up for you. Fantastic job on your first Zoom meeting.
Oh, thank you. Oh, I wanted to say one other thing, and I wanted to say we are an essential function and essential business during this time because we're supporting the Medicaid platform, and something that happens during times of economic downturn is people need the social services. So our work right now is growing because of the nature of the economy, and I personally feel very blessed to be in a job that's an essential function right now.
Thanks for bringing attention to that. That is really important to note. All right. Thank you so much, Shawn.
You're welcome.
Up next, we've got Sam Carrosquillo. He's the Chief Growth Officer for Bond.AI. Sam, if you will, just give us an overview of Bond.AI and the positions you guys are hiring for.
Great job with my last name, by the way. That's awesome. And Wayne, you've never looked so much better than having a picture of Mimi over your face. So Bond.AI is
I can change that at any time.
There you go. So Bond.AI, it's basically the easiest way to put it together and explain it is Alexa for banking. So, banks are kind of slow to adapt. And so with all this COVID thing going on, it's hard to kind of do banking. So our business is actually growing because they want to do banking without people having to come into the branch. So basically you can do what you do at the branch, you can do it through voice using Alexa or Siri or Google Home. So that's the kind of brief overview. Of course, our business is kind of booming right now because of the situation that's going on. And so we're hiring some folks. But I wanted to talk on Lou's point. We had the same issue with the PPP and the EIDL. Thank God we were very well capitalized going into this. But we had the same issue. We actually were one of the first people to apply for the PPP in Arkansas. And they just came back, just wanted to give this for other startups out there. They just came back and said that we had to show 90% of the ownership instead of the 80% that the actual application says. Therefore, we had to redo it again. We redid it, and now the PPP is out of funds. So if you're a startup and they come back in, make sure you show 90% of ownership and not just 80%. So we're looking to hire graphic designers right now. We're looking to hire content writers. We're looking to hire data engineers, technical project managers, and a sales manager because again, we have a lot of banks that are wanting our platform right now. What I would say separately than what other folks have said here is internships. Right now, it's a great time to retool and do something different. If you've lost your job, I would say, and you're on unemployment, I would go in and try to get hired, start doing internship at like a company like us, a company like Lou's, or other companies doing other things that you might not have done before. So for example, me, I was in construction. I've been in construction 20 years, sold a company, and now I'm the CGO for a AI company. 10 minutes ago, I couldn't spell AI, and now I'm trying to bring other people on board. So this is a good time, and we don't really look at resumes. I think kind of things are changing right now, and we want people given the opportunity to kind of retool and do something different. So as long as you got a good attitude and a good work ethic, we're willing to try you. So that's what I would say about us and the things that are happening right now.
Thank you so much, Sam. We'll open it up for questions. Any questions for Sam? Okay, Sam, I got a question here. Do you have openings in AI and data science?
We do, yes. So they can just reach out to me. We'll put them to work.
Good deal. While we're waiting for some more questions to come through, I'll pose the question to all of our panelists here today. How's the working from home going? Not just for you, but for your coworkers and everyone that you work with, your clients. How have you managed that?
So I'll go first since I spoke last. I would say the hardest thing for me has been homeschooling. I have a 7-year-old little girl in 2nd grade. That has been by far the toughest thing ever. Besides that, everything else good.
I'll jump in. We're making it work. We use Teams as Microsoft Teams as a tool in our company, and so we're all getting used to it. I'd say from a candidate perspective, though, this is definitely something to touch on. Is I would really recommend brush up on the virtual interview tools that you have, whether it's through Zoom or Skype or Teams, because we're moving forward rapid and fast with interviews, and those are all through a virtual experience like this. And we're making offers and not ever meeting in person, which we're able to get the point across and learn a lot about someone. But and it's fun because then sometimes you get to see a dog pop up in the corner and really be able to make that connection, because we're all human. So we either have kids running around, we have pets running around, we've got people at the doorbell. So it's been fun to kind of see everyone in their home element.
Yeah, I mean, same way. Sam, I'm sorry. I can't say that I feel for you on that. I don't know what it's like. I do have a dog, so.
So it's easier for a dog, I'm sure.
But yeah, he's probably wondering like why I'm home all day, every day, like play with me, and I'm just like sitting here at the computer. But no, Tyler, those were a lot of good points, though. I mean, we're just trying to adapt and move to a virtual lifestyle right now while all this is going on. So like to everybody out there, I mean, just kind of brush up on everything. I mean, we're kind of moving in this direction. But it's different. I like it though. I've kind of set up my desk here to make it look as much like it does at work. So as long as I keep the TV off, I think we're good.
So I can speak for DXE. We, being a global company, so much of what we do is virtual. We have virtual teams. We, folks especially that support the 44 states, they do that from Conway. So meetings with our customer are all virtual through Skype. And there's always a local presence, a local DXE presence nearby whichever state entity administers Medicaid. So there's a lot of virtual teaming. Our interviews have always been virtually. I've probably hired over 300 people at DXE, and I have never interviewed anyone in person. It's always virtually, and so none of that has changed. But we all miss one another. The folks that sit in the Conway office, you get used to the folks that you work around. You look forward to seeing them, and we kind of abruptly that all ended, and we're all at home and we don't get to see one another. So something that I've implemented is I have weekly team social hour, so the social 30 minutes. Each of the teams that, for instance, like I have about 15 business analysts that work out of the Conway facility and El Paso facility that support Rhode Island. Every week we meet and we just talk about whatever we want to talk about. I give them company updates and information. One week we put together a presentation of all of our pets, and everybody got to, we went through the PowerPoint presentation virtually and talked about our pets. But I do that with each of my teams just so we have that social time and that time with our colleagues that we were so used to before.
All fantastic points. So, like all of you, the Venture Center too has made adjustments to how we do this. Of course, all of our community programs are now virtual. We have team meetings every morning so we can see everyone's face and check in with everyone and go through what everyone will be working on for the day and what to look forward to on the following week. Did have another question come through for Sam. Does Bond.AI offer remote positions for technical project managers?
Yes.
Okay. And then someone else, Sam, they said they couldn't find the list of openings. Can you point us in that direction again, where to find those?
Yeah, I'll send it. It's angel.co/company/bond-ai/jobs, but I'll put it on here so they can have access to it.
Yeah, feel free to put that in the chat. This question came through. I'm not sure it's directed at any specific person, and a few of you touched on this. As you were hiring folks virtually and with all this COVID pandemic going on, what's your process for onboarding new employees?
I'll start. I'll jump in. So we have had a couple people that have started remotely, and it's not the same experience, I think, as just being in the office and getting called out and seen and company meeting and all of that. But we're working at it. So for new hires, we are still sending them a new hire swag bag of all the goodies and everything that they would get on day one. If they are not local to us, we are shipping them equipment. If they are local to us, they will pick those up at a safe distance, and everything is remote from there. So IT setup, our people operations overview, and meeting with their team. It just depends on what team they join and the training that happens from there. First Orion does a technical apprenticeship program, so shameless plug for that, because we do a lot of hiring for brand new graduates or people with entry-level skills that are coming in, wanting to gain the experience in software engineering or data science or data analyst or product development, what have you. And so we have a great training team that has developed a lot of ways to be able to build that out remotely. So we're really using a lot of those functions to try to help in onboarding. And then our company has a company meeting every Monday that it's led by Charles and our senior leadership. And it's engaging and kind of tells everyone what's going on for the week, what, who's got a service anniversary, who's got a birthday, who's got a milestone, who's started. And so we're doing that to help, stabilize and keep that culture of how it would feel in the office, but just all remote.
Kind of the same here. I mean, whereas I would have issued equipment on an employee's first day, we're shipping that in advance now, scheduling a remote meeting with our PC technician to help get them logged on in case they run into any issues. And then from there, just a lot of touch points with the new employee. I reach out a couple of times a day, probably for the first couple of weeks. And then I'll, of course, let them know, as always, that they can reach me via Skype, email, my phone, what have you. So.
Good deal. Let's see, we've got another question that's been posed to all of you. This one is, do you think the wages will change due to this COVID pandemic?
I'll speak for our company. We have to stay on the cusp of paying, really competitive market pay. So with technical talent, it is not easy to find data scientists, software engineers, any role at our company. And so we are constantly looking at what the market rate is and wanting to make sure we stay competitive, because we all will come out of this, and companies are going to need to hire again. So it's a great opportunity for companies like us and others here that, are able to grab a lot of talent right now, but everyone else is going to be doing that soon. So for us, I see no change.
Same here. I mean, she hit it exactly the same. We're trying to, there's a small pool, so we're trying to all kind of grab the best talent that we can, so we got to pay well.
Same for DXE.
Mm-hmm. I imagine that's across the board the same. Sam, where is Bond.AI located?
So we are at the Tech Park here in Little Rock. We have offices here, and we have offices in New York as well.
All right, looks like, again, as this discussion's been going on, we've had everyone drop their information, email addresses, how to find the job listings in this group chat. Again, this was recorded. It's live on Facebook, so we'll be sure to get the word out that you all are hiring and promote your businesses. So again, special thank you to Lou McAlister with Broadband Development Group for giving his insight on how his company is dealing with this pandemic, and some really good insight on PPP loans and everything he's dealt with, and as far as that's concerned. Andrew, the recruiting manager for Robert Half, thank you for your time. Tyler, the talent management director for First Orion. Shawn Glenn with DXE Technology, and Sam Carrosquillo with Bond.AI. So I don't know if Wayne had anything else to add. Wayne, you want to add anything?
No, just thank you all. And, it's a challenging time. I think, as Mimi said in her message here before, it's great to hear about some good news and some good opportunities. Clearly, some folks here who have not only organizations that can be supportive and for folks who need jobs, but, the other thing too is time maybe for some people, obviously, to have to reinvent themselves a little bit. It sure sounds to me like those of you that have companies that are requiring people with skills are also willing to help people develop those skills and help them get educated. And that's going to be important. It's, we don't want to tell everybody about how great Arkansas is, right? I moved there 3 years ago, and I'm not telling anybody because I don't want anybody else to move there, right? So, but it's not really the truth, right? Obviously, we want to get as many great people there as possible, and there are great opportunities there. And, I think it's representative of how we're coming through these extraordinary times. We've got a long way to go. We got some great leadership. We got some great companies. And I know the Venture Center is here to be helpful to all of you any way that we can be. And we're going to continue to try to bring this sort of content to people. If there are certain things that you would like to know about or things that you want to learn more about, whether it's Lou's experiences or whatever it might be, please reach out to us. We sincerely believe that it is not business as usual. And so therefore we need to understand what our community needs us to do. We have great resources and great people like Ashley and Mimi and Becky and so forth. So we're here to be as helpful as we can. So if there's some things that you would like us to focus on, or some panels that you would like us to bring together, we have an extraordinary global network. Many of those folks who are, some of those folks actually who are on our backgrounds here today. Please reach out. Let us know. We're here to help. So now I just want everybody to get off of this call and go wash your hands. Okay. All you, Ashley.
Yeah, I did want to make one last mention. Everyone's emails and points of reference for job postings are in the Zoom group chat, so be sure to get that information right there. And as Wayne mentioned, we do enjoy putting these panel discussions on. We plan on hosting another one next Friday, CEO roundtable, very much like this one, to discuss certain topics. So be on the lookout for registration for that. Shifting gears a little bit, on Monday, 4/20, we are actually having a cannabis industry panel discussion. So be sure to join us and register for that. It's 11:30 to 1 p.m. On Monday. Also, we are having a mindfulness workshop on Tuesday from noon to 1 with Mike Mueller. He's going to walk us through some mindfulness tips and tricks and meditation, because I don't know anyone that couldn't use that right now. So be sure to register for those events and stay up to date with all we have going on. If there's no further questions, thank you all so much for participating and attending. Have a great Friday and a great weekend, and we'll see you next time.
Fantastic. Thank you all.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
everyone. Take care. Bye.
Thanks, everybody.